Good evening, everyone. I am Gloria Higgins. I am the principal of this amazing school, Sandpiper School, and we are very excited to present to you tonight all of the amazing things that happen at Sandpiper, and we're looking forward to welcoming your student here in the fall. Let me get my slideshow working. There we go. I did want to start out by saying you are so lucky to be living in the Belmont-Redwood Shores School District. We have 3 unique options for middle school, and wherever your child goes to middle school, they're going to have an excellent standards-based academic program, including, and this is very important to note, Algebra 1 in 8th grade at all of the schools. That is an option for all of our middle schools for your students. We all have engaging extracurricular options, nice social emotional supports, and a very positive school climate. So your students will be well prepared for high school and beyond. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Scala so she can introduce herself.
All right, I'm Stephanie Scala. I'm the assistant principal here at Sandpiper School. And I want to introduce our middle school team. We have a great team here, starting with Miss Bray.
Hi, I'm Miss Bray. I teach social studies and ELA for the 6th grade.
I'm Miss Karkowski. I teach science and math for 6th grade.
Hi there, I am Lynn. I don't know how to get it to be my face.
It's you, Lynn. You're good.
Oh, sorry. I'm Lynn Bjorquist. I teach 7th grade ELA and history.
I guess I'm next because we have a couple people missing. Okay, so my name is Miss Gao and I teach 8th grade math and science.
My name is Coach Aaron, and then I coach middle school PE, as well as I'm the athletic director.
Hi, I'm Anisha Ramani. I'm the school counselor. Looking forward to meeting everyone.
And hello, everyone. My name is Ben Bartel. I'm the Learning Center teacher here at Sandpiper School.
And we just are so thrilled to have such a talented team of staff here at Sandpiper. I wanted to kick us off tonight by really talking about our focus of how the head, the hand, and the heart interact together here at Sandpiper. So while we're very, very focused on academics and academic achievement for your students, we know that how we feel at school, what we do at school, and how we think at school all come together to provide an excellent learning environment and experience for students. You're going to get to hear a little bit about some of our signature practices tonight, our focus on belonging, our efforts around design thinking, and something we've been working on for a few years, our profile of a learner, including the profile of the adults in our system and the system itself. And all of this really adds up to Sandpiper being a place where students are known and appreciated for who they are, where they can make a valuable contribution, and where we love to have a little bit of fun.
All right, and that brings us to our profile of a learner and our purpose. Our profile and purpose really are our North Star, and we really try to embody all of these traits with everything that we do at our school, and especially in our middle school. So we empower an inclusive community of critical thinkers who contribute to an ever-changing world. And as you can see with our colorful traits on the side, those are the things we want our students to have in 8th grade, and we really strive in everything we do, from sports, enrichment, academics, all of our things, to really make sure that we have students that leave our school with these qualities to contribute to society.
I'm going to talk a little bit about belonging, and you can see here some of the things we've done to really make sure that our students feel like their identity is represented here at Sandpiper. And one of the really unique things, the truly unique things about Sandpiper is our TK8 environment. It does provide a place where students can be known. It provides strong academics and a culture of community, where there's some continuity of parent involvement and where students can be leaders for longer. And you don't have to just take my word for that. Syracuse University did a study that showed a TK8 setting led to all of these outcomes, including that increased sense of belonging and safety, which we know is so important for students' overall attainment in life. And really fascinating, Your student, even if they didn't start at Sandpiper with us in kindergarten or TK, experiences the benefit of that when they join us in 6th grade. So they get that benefit of being the top dog instead of the bottom dog as in 6th graders, and they'll reap some of these benefits. So we're hoping that you'll send them here to Sandpiper. And again, here's what our students are saying about the sense of belonging they feel at Sandpiper. You can see in that orange bar that our students rated us in the 92nd percentile, which is among the top in our BRSSD schools and among the top in all of the schools that take this Youth Truth Survey. We're very proud of that. Ms. Scala, back to you.
All right, that brings us to another key principle we have at the school, design thinking. And as you can see here, these are just some of our students and projects that they've done. Design thinking is problem solving grounded in empathy with a bias towards action. You can see the basic process here that starts with empathy, and we really empower students to be critical thinkers who solve problems with this process. A few projects that we've done around school, the middle school the past 2 school years have started with a whole middle school project in design thinking. Last year, it was building their own sport, and they really studied the invention of basketball to get them going and started with that. And then they were in multi-grade level groups to create a game. This year, it was how could we improve our school? And it's even down in our classes. We have an ELA project in 7th grade this year while the students were reading Freak the Mighty. That Miss B, actually, could you speak to a little bit of the design thinking in your classroom and in the middle school?
Sure. So we read the book Freak the Mighty, and then each child took on a different character from the story, and another child interviewed them and tried to think of a way to solve a problem they were having. And we went through a couple ideations with that, so they kept improving it. And we also did it in Speak Up, Speak Out, which is an elective where they had to design a new backpack for each other. And again, they went through the process of ideating it and then getting feedback from the user and going through the process of ideating it again and again, so that it's a continual process, and then they can really go through that kind of, there's not just one solution, there's a bunch of solutions and you can improve.
All right, thank you, Ms. B. So going from some of our key components of our program, we want to step into the day in the life of a student. This is the Sandpiper Bell schedule. As you can see here, our blocks are an hour and 50 minutes. We have double blocks. And something that's a benefit of that that's different at the other 2 middle schools in our district is longer blocks can allow teachers time that when they're working on science, if it's a game in PE, if it's a discussion about a book, they can really have longer, deeper conversations and really dive into that material in that period of time. Also, the teachers are able to break up the time into different sections. They can do group work, they could do instruction, independent, direct instruction, independent work, peer tutoring and working together. There's a lot of different ways that they can utilize that time. And it also helps the students that there's fewer transitions throughout the day. So these are just some benefits with our unique schedule we have here. And another thing I want to talk about is on Wednesdays, we have Genius Hour, which we'll speak up a little bit more about later, and Alternative Learning Lab during Wednesday. So that schedule is a little different with our half day.
All right, we're going to dive a little bit into curriculum and instruction, starting with Ms. Gao, who's going to talk a little bit about our math pathways here at Sandpiper.
All right, so once again, I'm Ms. Gao and I teach the 8th grade math class. So I do want to reassure everybody that we absolutely offer Algebra 1 here at Sandpiper. And, over the years of, opening up as a K through 8, we have, definitely gone through the growing pains of figuring out what that looks like. And I think that now we've definitely, come to a conclusion of what needs to take place so that we can have a successful 8th grade Common Core class as well as an Algebra 1 class. So basically what is going to happen is that for 6th and 7th grade, there's going to be differentiated teaching, which is what all great teachers do anyway. They meet your child where they're at and make sure that they make a full year's worth of growth. And so that will continue for 6th and 7th grade, but then we will track students, and students will either be placed into the 8th grade differentiated Common Core or into high school level Algebra 1. And even if, your student does not make it into Algebra 1, that doesn't mean that that's the end of the road for them. There's so many options, after that. But before we get into that, what we really want to strive for here at Sandpiper is the standards for mathematical practice, because this is the foundation that's going to help them be successful, not just for these classes, but for the really tough abstract classes that they're going to get in high school. So we really want to make sure that they make sense and persevere in solving problems. And I think that that's something that a lot of students going from elementary school to middle school don't really, love right away, is the whole, taking apart a problem and tinkering with it, because they kind of expect like, oh, math, if I get it, then it's going to be super quick. But actually, as you move forward in math, it's going to take longer to get it. And it's that problem solving that people really tend to enjoy. So it's more like a puzzle than, just sort of being able to do quick math calculations in your head. We want them to be able to reason abstractly and quantitatively. We want to help them construct viable arguments and critique each other's reasoning through logic. We want to help students model with mathematics. So math doesn't just end in the classroom. We use math in so many other areas, especially science, and then also statistics and social science as well. We want to be able to use math tools strategically, attend to precision, look for, make use of structure, and then also look for and express regularity and repeated reason. So basically finding patterns. So this is basically the pathways of where a student can go. So basically you go from Common Core 8th grade math to Algebra 1, but going from, Common Core 7th grade and 6th grade, Sandpiper has a curriculum that could definitely have students go directly into Algebra 1 and kind of skip over that Common Core 8. But even if, like I said, a student doesn't make it to Algebra 1 their 8th grade year, they absolutely can. There's like online courses that they could take if they really need to get into that geometry freshman year. They could take Algebra 1 their freshman year and do geometry their sophomore year, summer school into their sophomore year, and get onto a track that they want to get on. There's just so many different pathways and options that, like, even if you're not in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, that's not like, determining the fate of your math career. Not at all. So, rest assured that even if that's not the placement that, a student gets, that's not, the end all be all, but it is definitely something that we offer here at Sandpiper.
Thank you, Ms. Gow. Let me turn it over to Ms. Karkowski now to talk a little bit about her 6th grade math class.
Okay, so our goal in math is really to be able to have the kids apply it to real world situations. And we do that by using Desmos as a tool for visual understanding. There are a lot of digital manipulatives with Desmos that leads to a conceptual understanding more than just having the students memorize the algorithms. Because just blank memorization like that, they're going to forget it. So we really want them to have that deeper understanding. And numbers have meaning. So math talks are very important. Students have opportunities to teach each other and be able to explain their mathematical thinking. Our classes also include centers, small grouping, and on Wednesday, we have time for math enrichment with our block schedule. And we also have a lot of opportunities for reinforcement and challenges, which really aids to the variety of levels we see coming into Sandpiper. So we have our design thinking projects, STEM fair, science labs, and Genius Hour, which really lets kids challenge themselves and stretch their mathematical skills. Okay, and science. So we use NGSS, which is all about doing science and engineering as scientists and engineers do. So again, this is getting away from just memorizing information. It's less of the teacher being the giver of knowledge and the kids really thinking critically themselves, trying to think of problems and come up with solutions, which also goes with kind of our design thinking model. And so students are not receiving science, but are constructing science. And our main goal is to have students be able to construct their own scientific investigations by the end of middle school, and at a basic level by the end of 6th grade, so that they can really construct their own science labs, science experiments using the scientific method. And below are some of our topics that we study in 6th grade.
Thank you, Ms. Karkowski. I'm going to ask Ms. Beret to go next.
Alrighty, hi, I'm Miss Bray, and for English and Language Arts, we start with reading several novels together in class. In this class, individuals are going to be challenging themselves and creating a love of reading different genres, and they'll be exposed to different genres in the class according to their needs. We focus on deep reading and effective writing every day. We use the Readers and Writers workshops, and we use Wordly Wise for vocabulary development and enrichment. When we're teaching the reading and the writing units, they mirror each other. We work on social issues and life stories and back that up with personal narrative writing. From there, we go to deep study of character and dive into argument writing. With compare and contrast, we are doing research right now with our informative writing, which lends itself to either your STEM or your NHD process paper. And then we study nonfiction and book clubs. And at the end of the school year in the spring, we work on fantasy and graphic novel writing. And in history, I'm really pleased we have TCI History Alive. We study the ancient world in middle school. And I personally love history, so I try to bring that to life for my students. We start out with early humans and the rise of civilizations, move on into ancient Egypt and Middle East. We are just starting our units on ancient India and focusing on Buddhism and Hinduism. After that, we'll follow up with China and ancient Greece and Rome. And the great thing about TCI is that it is also, we have the book and the workbook in the classroom, but there's an online component, and it's also able to be read to your student, as well as it's available in English and in Spanish for front loading if the student needs that.
Thank you, Ms. Beret. Next up, we have Coach Van Laar.
So I am a credentialed PE coach, so a PE teacher, which is different than what we have at some of the other, we're at Nesbitt. I teach my blocks for 110 minutes, twice a week. These groups change every trimester. Some of the things we focus on, we do our fitness and fitness assessments. We learn a little bit about nutrition. The students get a wide arrangement of sports, all the way from the basics, like the big three of like baseball, football, basketball, soccer, but we also do hockey. We're currently doing Frisbee right now, so we're learning ultimate Frisbee and Frisbee golf. We do bowling, and we do my favorite coming up soon, it's racket sports. So we learn about badminton, pickleball, tennis, and even ping pong. And we also work on our goals and setting goals, how to set appropriate goals at the beginning of the school year. And then we work on those goals throughout the school year. And the next one, we are a part of the Art David Athletic League for our middle school. It's the same as Nesbitt and Ralston, same as a lot of the Foster City, San Mateo schools and the Palo Alto schools. We currently have flag football It's a joint team with Nesbitt. Cross country team is also a joint team. We have girls volleyball and boys volleyball. We have girls 6th, 7th, and 8th grade basketball, and then we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade tennis. Currently, these are the sports that we're offering. As every year is new and kind of different, we get some new, I guess, interest in some other sports. There's the potential to add sports like soccer, but we just haven't had a lot of people interested in it right now, but sports could change depending on how the kids are and what they want.
And I would add, thank you, Coach Van Laar. When there is not a sport offered at Sandpiper, students are eligible to try out for that sport if it's offered at Ralston or Nesbitt. So if your student really loves golf and we're not offering it here and it's offered at Ralston, they could absolutely try out for that. In our music and art department, we do have options for students. Weekly before school, we have band and strings. That is an optional course. Not all middle school students need to take that. We do ask that there be a little bit of experience with the instrument, and that's strongly preferred. In the past, that's typically been on Tuesdays. It kind of depends on the instructor. And I actually say before school, that's when our strings course is offered, but this year our band course is offered after school. So that can change a little bit, but it is an option for your students. Art is offered monthly through the very generous support of School Force. Those of you who are already in our district know about School Force, and we appreciate their funding. That's offered monthly by LEAP art professional teachers. We also have arts electives in the middle school you're going to hear about in just a moment, and arts intercession topics. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bjorquist to talk about our electives.
Hi. So we have worked really hard because with our small staff, we wanted to make sure that we still offered a variety of electives to the students. So we have been evolving this program and we're super proud of it as it stands today. In 6th and 7th grade, the kids get to choose, well, there's 2 different electives that they get to take the first and second semester, and then on the third trimester, they can choose what they want to take. In 8th grade, they get to choose a different elective each trimester, and you can see the variety of topics that are covered in 6th grade and 7th grade and 8th grade. We decided, okay, that's good. We also want to add kind of a genius hour, which is almost like a self-directed elective where they get to choose what they're passionate about and learn about it or produce something, and they will go into writing or coding or crafting or go do a deep dive into a historical time, or they'll make films. There's just a variety of things they can do during genius hour and kind of reflect on their process. Then we do have also on Wednesdays, we do they can choose, there's a 6-week period where they can either choose to do a National History Day project or a STEM fair where they produce a claim and then either gather primary source evidence or do an experiment to prove their claim and go through that process. Our intercession, we have just started for the last 2 years. We last year started with 1 intercession, and now this year we'll go to 2. These are the 5 days that are the minimum days right at the end of the term when there are parent-teacher conferences. And at this time, they get to choose between a variety of different topics and go to 2 different classes of each of those 5 days. It's a mix of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. They can choose between like French, they can choose Japanese culture. We have Chinese theology, financial reasoning, graphic novels. In the past, we've also had mock trial, all different kinds of things that they can choose from. And then we're adding on more of a community service also during this time, so that whether it's in school or out of school, they can perform some sort of community service. And we like how it kind of has come out, giving them that variety and choice.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Plenty of other extracurricular activities available at Sandpiper as well. You can see the list of clubs that we have available and just opportunities, including robotics, which is very popular here at Sandpiper, Rainbow Alliance is an important important way in which we create a sense of belonging for students. Some special events for middle schoolers only, because they are looking to connect with each other. We have some hangouts for them. Dances are provided through Sandpiper Youth Club, which is right next door. And we're always willing to have a parent volunteer. If you have a particular passion and an interest in starting a club, you can be an advisor for a student. We have staff who also advise clubs. Miss Romani, it's your turn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anisha Romani. I'm the counselor here, and I really look forward to being the middle school counselor because I get to continue the relationship that I've had with students that have already gone here for elementary school. And of course, I really look forward to meeting the new students as well and welcoming them to our wonderful middle school. As you can see on the slide, there's my contact information, so feel free to email me and reach out with any questions you may have. I go into each middle school classroom once a week, and I teach SEL or social emotional learning lessons with a curriculum called Character Strong. And I also do community circles where the whole class gets in a circle and we get to build trust and students get to connect with one another. And we build community here in each class. As for counseling services, I can see students one-on-one or in groups, depending on the issue. I cover a variety such as emotional regulation, self-esteem, grief, and even friendships. I love connecting students who do need a friend. So there's a variety of issues that I address. And I also help families with outside resources if they need to be connected to any extra supports. And as you can see, social emotional learning is really important, not only for students academically, but also personally. And there are many behaviors that come out of that, such as kindness, sharing, empathy, and it really helps them overall in school and beyond. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm looking forward to answering any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Romani. Here you see our fabulous student support team, and I want to just emphasize that we have a full range of services here at Sandpiper, whether they are a typical student or an excelling or kind of advanced student, or if they need additional supports or services, we can support them here at Sandpiper. That includes language learners, that includes students who may have a 504 plan, and you would know if they have that, and also students with IEPs, and also you would know if you have that. I want to introduce Mr. Bartel, who supports students in our Learning Center, to talk about his program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Bartel. I'm a Learning Center teacher here at Sandpiper School. I'm really here to help support all students with their individual needs, whatever that may be. Many students who are coming in from the elementary school to the middle school will have a transition meeting where we'll talk about the current supports, accommodations, and their goals they have in place in elementary school, and how we can best serve them in the middle school. But I work very, very closely in push in and pull out service for our students in elementary and middle school. We have paraeducators in the room who also provide push in services as well as pull out. And I work very, very closely with all of our middle school and elementary teachers to provide collaboration and really work hand in hand with kind of create a team approach with myself, teachers, and the students to best serve their individual needs and make them successful their time here at Sandpiper. So excited to be here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Mr. Bartel. We are getting close to the end of our presentation. There's some next steps here for you. I hope some of you or many of you were able to attend Nesbitt's information session last night, but if you didn't, the recording is linked on this presentation and we will make this presentation available to everyone. You're here tonight, and again, that link for tonight's recording will be added to this slide as well. Next week, Ralston has their information session, and there's a link here for you to register in advance for that. Check your Parent Square. That link has been sent out through all of our schools, but it's here for you as well. And then student orientations happen in August before school starts, and you can see those dates there for each of our middle schools. And mark your calendars now. The first day of school for next year is August 16th. It is important, if you are new to Belmont-Redwood Shores School District, that you complete the new student enrollment process. And you can find that information on the BRSSD website, also linked here in this presentation. And all fifth grade families, all fifth grade students, whether you're new or already here in our schools, must complete the digital choice form, ranking your preference. This is a change from last year, previous years, in terms of selecting middle school preferences. We're asking all students to fill that out. The form was sent out earlier this week, and it is due February 17th. I do just want to note that if your student is currently at Sandpiper or Redwood Shores, they do have a priority for Sandpiper if that's your first choice. And then current Nesbit students also have a priority for Nesbit if that's your first choice. With that, I do want to encourage you to use that Q&A feature. You should be able to see that on the webinar screen. Feel free to put in any questions that you didn't hear answers to tonight. I know Ms. Scala has been checking that as we've been going throughout the presentation and answering what she can. We will preserve all of those questions and put out responses in writing. But before we sign off, we want to give you a chance to add any last minute questions that we didn't answer for you tonight. And then you also see on this slide my contact information, Stephanie's contact information, and then Miss Rogers and Miss McGuire are the two amazing women in our front office who can help you with lots of questions as well. Yes, we can give them a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Bartel. Go ahead and add those questions. Thank you all so very, very much for coming.